That was a fun descent. Look at that! It is such a beautiful day out. Good morning. Welcome to another ultra cycling related video on the beautiful south coast of England. Look at that sunrise. That's why we get up early. If you watched any previous videos, thanks for coming back. And if this is your first one, my name's Andy and I'm an ultra cyclist on the south coast of the UK. The videos I make are about ultra cycling, training and adventures. So if you have endurance goals of your own, subscribe, follow along. I'm sure there'll be something in there for you. And if not, maybe you teach me something. Honestly, it's such a good sunrise. Living in Portsmouth can be a little bit limiting in some ways. Right on the seafront, so I've got 180 degrees of travel. Other than that, it's the ocean out to France. Just riding past the international port in Portsmouth, where you get the ferry to France. And sadly, I won't be needing my passport today, unfortunately, but a bit further up, there's a smaller ferry that goes across to the Isle of Wight. It's one of the most beautiful and underrated places to ride on the south coast. Well, it looks like we got some issues with the ferry. Problem with the hydraulics. So I'm going nowhere for now. But worst places to have to sit and eat an almond croissant. It could be a lot worse. Crossing takes about 45 minutes. It's not far at all, really. It's definitely worth the trip. 20 quid for the ferry, 20 quid, 20 pounds. It's pretty cheap, and about 45 minutes to get over to the island. It really feels like when you get there, you've travelled a lot further than a couple of miles. It's a beautiful place. We are on the island. First bit of overseas riding for 2024. Just about. as soon as you get off the ferry, it's a bit hilly. Wakey wakey. So I'll give you a piece of advice. When it comes to that ferry, don't do what I did. When you get on, they put you to the very back. To the other end, you're the first off on bikes. As you roll off the ramp has some slots in it that are just big enough for a 28mm tyre. Just. So after we finished the ride, had a really good day out, coming back into Portsmouth, roll down the ramp, and my wheel is the one that finds that gap. Straight in the slot, fly over the handlebars, wreck my front wheel, really nice carbon DT Swiss wheel. And all of the car drivers patiently sat waiting for this huge group of cyclists to get out of the way, get a great show. I'm laid on the floor, my bottle cage got ripped off as well. I was on my SL7, so not happy. Luckily the frame was fine. That was painful for my ego, for my hip, for my wallet. I'll put a picture up if I forgot one. But yeah, learn from my mistake, don't do that. It ain't fun. Like the only saving grace in that situation, I was the last one off in my group of mates. So I didn't cause a pile up and none of them saw it, thankfully. Really not a lot of flat over here, and that's something you just gotta come to terms with pretty quick. So your front derailleur gets just as much of a workout as you do. Whew. Pretty sure as well I'm riding this clockwise because it's really exposed on the south side of the island. Depending on what way the wind's blowing, makes sense to have a tailwind over that side. And that also means quite quickly coming up to a place called Black Gang Chine. And it's the first really spiteful part of the ride. It's quite a nasty climb actually. But after that, the military road on the south side of the island is absolutely amazing. It's well worth the climbing. Just then fresh water to deal with. Bit hilly over it. Such a beautiful day out to be doing a ride like this. It's only about 7, maybe 8 degrees. Still out with fingerless gloves. A little bit chilly, but plenty warm enough really. Pushing along, blood's going to my fingers, no problems. This is the first day, I think, in January. It's been particularly nice. Went for a little spin yesterday around Portsmouth and saw loads of bikes out. So I'd say that's a sign. Weather's improving a bit, days are getting a little bit longer. It's time to be out on our bikes again. Personally, I struggle a bit with seasonal affective disorder. I say a bit, it becomes a bit of a slog December, January, when the days are so short, barely any daylight, it's freezing cold, can't do the things I love, I don't get particularly depressed. It's pretty hard work staying motivated. Managed to keep turning the legs, keep getting the workouts in, but it ain't easy. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's struggling with it. I was kind of inspired to make these videos because I watch a lot of them myself. One thing I notice, most people want to keep these cheerful, but it's not always sunshine and rainbows. We're all human beings. They'll all have bad days, bad months, and really struggle along. You never see that really. So I don't want to bring the tone down, depress you, but also I'm not scared to talk about mental health. I've got a history of depression and anxiety, and it's in the past. Don't so much struggle with it anymore. For me personally, I had some issues to address and deal with in my life, and things are much, much better. But what I'm left with is just a couple of months of winter blues. And for whatever reason, this winter was particularly bad. Still, I managed to keep on going, keep the legs turning. Anyway, I'm not bringing that up for sympathy or something to talk about or whatever, but it's that time of year, and I'm sure some of you watching this probably have the same challenges. And the reason it's on my mind today is because I'm feeling bloody great. Having a really good ride. Weather's amazing. Started yesterday probably. Just sunny. Finally no real wind or rain or ice. Get on my bike comfortably. This is like meditation for me. It's a little bit inspired by Ulrich Bartholomew's as well. I'm sure you'll know who that is. I saw a post from him on Instagram that he'd been quiet for a little while, and that it'd been the same for him, particularly hard this winter for whatever reason. Probably a coincidence, but that really resonated with me. I don't think I'm climbing again now, can you tell? I don't think you should be afraid to talk about that stuff. It's not a cry for help or particularly bad, but don't be afraid either. But if any of you get the same thing, let me know. It can't be just me. God, it's IOW Ferry. But also, on top of that, I really appreciate some of the feedback I've had on the other content. That this is real cycling, real channel, real cycling. Exactly what I'm going for. I'm not going to dress everything up. I'm not going to sugarcoat everything. This is ultra cycling. Ultra cycling is really tough. I'm not going to make it look like I'm off for a trip into Fantasyland every weekend. At the moment, the rides are pretty manageable, but that's some real struggles, and I'm not going to hide any of that stuff. So as we head into the 2024 season now, things are starting to look kind of promising now. Buckle up. Well, resuming our standard transmission. Not a bad view. Riding through here always reminds me of the first time I rode around the island and stopped around here to eat a Mars bar. Pretty tired at that point. And there's a nice old boy I said hello to, enjoying the view. He said, "What a beautiful place." And his answer to me was, "Yeah, beautiful. Be more beautiful if it weren't for all the bloody cyclists." I got the message. So this is the south side of the Isle of Wight, and all the way around is gorgeous, picturesque and rural. But this next 20-30 miles is definitely the highlight. Pretty grippy, but man is it gorgeous. I've been fighting a bit of a battle with myself the last couple of days on what to do today. I went out yesterday to pick up a load of food and drinks with a plan to ride 200 miles today. Slowly talked sense into myself that ain't gonna help my training one bit. If you watched the Stonehenge video, if you didn't, go give it a watch. It's a really good route. But anyway, that ride was much harder than I planned for and really messed up my training. Just about getting back on track now. But there's a reason why I decided to limit myself to 100 miles on Sundays so I can get through the workouts in the week and actually build my base fitness. And that 130 miles after the trains were cancelled really didn't help me. So I decided last night 200 miles would not make any sense. Booked the ferry to the Isle of Wight instead. But gotta say, I am hankering now for a long ride. I haven't done anything more than that 130 miles for months. So if you've been around from the start, it's only actually about 3 months ago now. This is still pretty new to me. But so far, this is a ultra cycling channel. And the bloke does no ultra cycling. But put a change to that pretty soon. Well, glasses are parked in the dock. That can only mean one thing: climbing. This is the climb to Black Gang Chine, and apparently on my Garmin, I've got about a mile left to the top. It's alright to do it on my own, but coming through here with mates, racing to the top, this hurts. What a view that is. That's the Black Gang Chine climb dealt with. And I think the highest point on the island, down there, is the military road. And I've got that whole ride with a tailwind. Got fresh water, those white cliffs in the distance. Bit of a climb to get over that. But other than that, this is going to be a lot of fun. That was a fun descent. Now more climbing. I'm feeling a bit too good today. Loads of energy in the tank. It's really a battle to not push too hard and get carried away, because it is too good on this road. It's really odd because my whoop has me down in the red at 33%. But I think I know why. I think that's me tricking the numbers just slightly. Look at that! This place is so good. There are similar roads along the south coast, but always far busier than this. You can just about see the climb I'm gonna get over. Wow, it's so nice. I don't know if any of you are using Whoop. I love Whoop. I've been using it for about 18 months. Again, no partnership or anything, because I'm a nobody, but really useful. And you learn so much about your body, how it reacts in terms of recovery with a whole range of stuff. So waking up today in the red at 33%, you'd be worried, but I know I ate a ton of chocolate ice cream before bed, and that's why. Naughty. It was really tasty though. Now just heading into a town called Freshwater. Again, really beautiful. But there's two decent climbs on this route. Black Gang Shine and then into Freshwater. Apart from that, it's just lumpy all the way around. This is the second of the bigger one, so let's get it over with. We are officially going off-piste a little now. This route, I didn't mention, is actually a designated route for a fairly historic cycling event called the Isle of Wight Randonnée. So you might have noticed all the way around those little blue signs. You can follow this route purely with those signs. I just find they can get a little bit squirrely and point slightly the wrong direction. If you take it really easy, you'll be fine. But the GPX is online, so I just follow the GPX. The event itself, it bypasses one of the best bits of the whole loop, really. It's a place called the Needles. So I've just turned off. I think it's maybe 1 or 2 miles, something like that, each way. And it's actually a hairpin climb up to a high point and a view of the Needles. I've ridden this route a few times. Well, I say a few, maybe 10 or something like that, but on my own, in a group, and also as part of the event, the Randonnée. It happens in the summertime, July, August, something like that. I would say, if you want to come, take it nice and gently, ride the event. But if you're going anything more than casual, the roads are utter chaos with people on the wrong side of the road and cyclists everywhere they shouldn't be. So I come other times of the year and ride the route. you walk all the way to the end, down the hill, around the corner, you can kind of see the Needles. Anyway, it's a pretty cool climb up. A couple of hairpins. One of the only places, apart from Box Hill, where there are actually hairpins. That's quite nice. Only a couple, but it's worth adding on the extra few miles. Right, off to the ferry. From memory, this last section, about 2/3 of the way around. And this last section is not that exciting particularly, but I got about 2 hours to my ferry and about 3 hours to do it. So just get through the miles now. But it's a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place to come riding. That was the floating bridge. And as soon as you leave Cows, you'd be climbing. So that's a really good time to sneak off anyone's SRAM, rear derailleur battery, if they've got one. Good game.